This episode of the Co-optional Podcast is proudly sponsored by Squarespace. Whether you need a domain name, website, or online store, make your next move with squarespace.com/cooptional.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Co-optional Podcast. I was busy watching the stream, not the actual podcast. So when the stream started, I was like, I'm really entertained by the thing I created. My own intro gets me every time. I love it.
Everybody in chat is going, this is amazing. And meanwhile, you're going, God, this is amazing.
Yeah, even I think I'm impressed by it. I'm like, whoa, this is great. I can't believe I made this. Yeah. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. It's Jesse. I'm hosting this week. Dukes is here, but in the form of an advertisement for shirts. And
which you should all go look at.
Yeah, there's a baby in the background somewhere.
There is.
Very cute.
She's asleep right now, but that might change.
You say that. Sinvicta is here, staring at not the camera. I don't know what you're looking at, but this profile photo is just like,
I'm looking at Octo. Octo, you look great, man.
Thank you.
I love the hat.
Wait. I'm looking. Yeah, okay.
You're looking. Yeah, there you go.
Hold
yeah.
on.
Hey,
we can be like, we can.
You look great.
We got like a Brady Bunch thing going on here.
I like that. Yeah. Yeah, we can touch beards.
I'm not do this. No, don't do this.
Oh, no,
Guys,
no.
don't do this. No. Don't do this. Total failure. That did not work at all. That did not work at all.
Don't censor me, Jesse.
I can and I will. I'm in charge today.
He actually can. He actually
yeah, that
has
is
the
true.
power to do this.
Yeah, I'm in charge. Oh my goodness. Can I just say why no Duke's face? Because she's taking care of a baby. You don't want to see. Look, have you ever taken care of a baby?
You don't want to see the shit going on over here.
You don't want to see that. This is the best photo you're gonna get. A photo that is a drawing.
Mm-hmm.
Hi everyone, welcome. I am officially back from being abroad. It was a ton of fun, and yeah. Can I tell you something crazy that I learned about conventions overseas?
I'd love that. I'd love nothing more.
I have a lot of crazy stories to tell. Most of them I'm going to tell in private because they're not meant for the podcast. But this one definitely is. Conventions here in the States. For a while, we had that sort of like free hugs thing happening, and it was like a different vibe. I'm not sure how best to describe it. That ended very quickly. And I don't know how or why or in what way people stopped being like ultra friendly and became like, don't fucking touch me. That's not the case in Poland. In Poland, when I went to PeerCon, every third person had a hug, like free hugs thing around their neck. Mm-hmm. This is something I've noticed from a lot of European conventions too. This does not happen in the States. They have like campgrounds and or you can sleep in the halls. So for PeerCon, they had 6 or 7 halls, and one of the halls was devoted to like bring your sleeping bag and you can sleep there. And I was like, we do not do that in the States. That's not a thing we do at all.
No.
And it was crazy. And so it was like a weird, bizarro, like what conventions were 10 years ago in the States experience, where everyone was like, yeah, hug me. I'm fine with being hugged. Now in the States, it's like, if you fucking touch me, I will kill you. And it was like, it was very friendly. And I was like, all right, this is cool. I didn't hug anyone because I'm an American and I will not do that. But it was still like interesting. I was curious what the vibe was in the sleeping area, but I did not want to go there because I feared it would be just terrible. I was like, I don't want to know what it looks like. I don't want to know what it smells like. But it was, sleeping bag conventions. They apparently that's like a European thing.
Did they have the guy that walks down the lines holding out his hand for a high five?
No.
Oh, okay. So
no, they did not have that.
Yet.
They haven't gotten to there. That's what I'm saying. It's like a 10-year ago thing.
Right.
It straight up is like everyone, and I witnessed so many. I'm not even gonna lie. So many young men and women just like walking up to people and hugging random strangers, and I was like, what?
Now, are these hugs? Were they offered? Like, did the random stranger want a hug?
No,
or
it literally said free hug, and a person would like walk up to them and hug them.
But did it say free hug in Polish?
No, it said in English. Most things were in English because.
Oh, okay.
Thank God for that.
Although I did learn some awesome Polish. First off, I learned that Koopa means poop. So first off, Bowser,
Mario,
king of the poop. Yeah. He has poop troops and he has the poop kids.
They've got Poopa Troopas.
Poop Troop was my favorite show on Disney Channel.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And crazy thing, Dupa means butt. So technically, Dupa Robbie Koopa means poop from a butt. Or butt makes poop, I believe is the exact translation.
That's a good
butt
phrase.
Makes poop. Dupa Robbie Koopa. That's what I learned. That's the one thing I learned. I learned some beer names, but then immediately forgot them. So
Was it because you were drinking?
I was. I found a beer that was like a cherry wheat or something.
Ooh.
It tasted delicious, and I had too much of it. It was great.
That sounds good.
Yeah. So I that was what I did. Dukes.
Yes.
You've had a baby since last we talked.
Yeah, you left the country and then I popped out a child.
Yep.
So
that we can only be in the same area every so often, or else it gets out of control.
Yeah, she's asleep right now, but it's a little time bomb. So she's pretty cute. I like her.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Have you played any games?
I actually have.
What?
I know.
How? When? Where did you find the time?
She was streaming like yesterday, the council.
Yeah.
That's true.
Oh, I need to play episode 2 so badly.
I won't spoil anything for you, but I will talk about it a little bit.
Sure. We definitely need to talk about that.
I won't spoil anything, but here's all the spoilers.
I won't spoil anything, but here's the entire summary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sam and I have done a good job of tag teaming, and I've been able to play some stuff and stream a little, and
cool.
It's been good, but she's still reliant on me for literally all of her food. So
yeah, that's gonna be the next 18 years. Good luck.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think she's old enough to drive now. She can at least walk to Subway or something.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to wait on like hands and knees for her. Come on now. She got to grow up sometime, Dodger.
Yeah. Sinvicta.
Yes. Hello.
How are you doing, pal?
Doing great. It's great to be back. I'm glad to share the profile now with Octo. We have the beard connection.
Yeah, the beard connection, which is my new folk group that I'm making right now.
I like it,
and we're in it. That's it.
Yep. I can't wait for the visual novel series. Either.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm just honored to be next to the man with the best Twitch emotes on Twitch right now.
No, listen.
Look, Octo,
no.
I'm letting you know, Octo.
Yeah.
You see him everywhere
his emotes
now.
are lame. He said it multiple times. He thinks his emotes suck, and I'm letting you know they're the best ones on Twitch.
They are.
Hands down, best emotes on Twitch.
Thank you.
I use those more than anything else. Mostly the nut and the octopuses.
the nut and the octopi. I think Octo Gun might be a personal favorite of mine, but
he's got the best. You have the best ones.
Hey, if you've ever wanted the cover of Mystery of the Druids for the PC with the screaming CG Druid man, I got a deal for you for only $4.99 a month. There you go. Anyway.
Thank
you.
I'm happy to be back here. Been enjoying playing a couple of different games. But
we'll hear about that.
And I'm glad you made it back safe and sound, Jesse. We were all worried about you.
No, you were worried about me? Oh my God.
I wasn't.
Yeah, Dodger knows better. I left literally for a month, and it was like the best month. There were 2 days that were really lame because people are dumb, and this is my life advice for you. Don't make plans and then cancel them and then say, let's do it tomorrow, and then cancel them again. That's like a dick move. That's like a real dick move. Like, don't do that. You just say no. Just be like, I can't make it. And life will be better. Don't be that person who's like always trying to please everyone and then like keeps canceling. You're a bad person. Other than that, it was great. Other than that, I had a great time.
I was worried about you, so.
You were worried about me? Baby.
Yeah, whenever I don't get my daily text from Jesse Cox, I get worried. So like,
well, all the texts I send you are just dick pics, so I figured after a while you'd have enough.
Actually true. I've got a whole collection of them now.
It's
my new emote to compete with Octo.
It's just dicks. You have all my different. I'm gonna let you know. Every dick pic I take is like one of those underball shots. Yeah, like a classy underball shot. In fact, I've always said if you're gonna take a dick pic, think about it clearly, because if that ever gets out, if it ever gets out, you want people to like be like, you know what, a little offensive, but I kind of dig it. Yeah.
It's classy, yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm so glad that we're having this constructive conversation, that we're allowed to have this conversation right now.
She's got a child to take care of. She doesn't have time to fight this where this conversation's headed. Octo, hello, welcome to the show, dear friend.
Hi, hello. What's up?
What have you been up to?
Oh gosh, well, I have been. I don't know. I've been streaming a lot of Digimon games.
That's a thing. Whoa.
Look, okay, I'm at what? Yes.
Never mind. It wasn't Digimon. It was Yu-Gi-Oh. So never mind.
Okay, no, really. But I'm still into that. What's your?
I watched a video while I was gone of some guy who broke the Yu-Gi-Oh game and made it so it like something happened with Exodia, so it like broke the game, and it was amazing. And I just don't. It doesn't matter. It's unimportant because you're talking about Digimon.
That sounds incredible, and I'm into
great,
it.
But it has nothing to do with Digimon. It's unimportant.
Mm-hmm.
So please digitize us.
Okay.
Digimon, digital monsters. Digimon are the champions.
Digimon garlic champions.
Garlic champions.
Yeah. That's what it sounds like they're saying. But so I don't know. I recently finished. They're not new games. Well, one of them came out in January, but I only just got around to playing it now. Basically, so I think I talked about Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth on a previous podcast, actually, which was a game made by the Shimigami Tensei Devil Summoner team. And it was like really, really good. And I was really into the story. And then they made like a side story that happens at the same time as the first one. And it's sort of like a prequel / side story
so it's
thing.
Like Kingdom Hearts now? It's full.
Yeah, it's like Dream Drop Digimon. Welcome
back to Triple D.
Triple D.
Vampyr's Dream Drop Digimon. Perfect. I'd watch that shit.
Yeah. But it was really, really good. I started it yesterday, and it's kind of like an exposition dump at the beginning, but I've been really enjoying it. I finished Digimon World Next Order, which was why am I streaming? I guess I'm a Digimon streamer now. I'm sorry. But it's like Digimon World for the PS1, which is super whack and not a good game, but I still love it. And they basically were like, well, this is kind of like a cult game that a lot of people enjoy, so let's remake it. Well, not remake it, but like make a spiritual successor. And I played through that one, and it was really, really good. And I've been enjoying that. And I don't know, man, I don't play new games anymore. I just play games that are like a year to 2 years old at this point.
Yeah, but you're enjoying it, and that's what
I
matters.
am.
That's what matters.
I am, and I do love Digimon.
All right, where should we start with games? Where do we go? What is the first game we should talk about? I'll let you know. I didn't play a damn thing for a month. I couldn't tell you about video games.
I've played more than you.
Yeah, you've probably done more than me. The game I played was seeing where I could walk, and I was doing like 16 miles a day. It was crazy, y'all. If I lived in Europe, I would be like not fat. It's crazy how much people walk. But yeah, so just a heads up. I want to let everyone know. If you're in London, if you go to London, go to Cyberdog. It is.
Is that where they email you a hot dog?
I saw the
No, it is a
pictures
place.
of the sexy robots.
I don't know how to describe this.
hang
It is a
on.
place where I played nothing mobile, chat. I didn't use anything for anything. I played nothing. Actually, I played Heroes of the Storm on my computer for fun. When it was late at night and I had nothing to do some nights.
Cyberdog. Is this like a clothing store?
So Cyberdog, if you go to Camden,
bar,
Camden's really fun. It's super touristy and probably way too expensive for its own good. But as you walk through Camden, eventually you come to this place called Cyberdog. And Cyberdog, the outside has a male and female robot, and they bump hardcore techno shit, and you hear it's brum, 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 from the outside, but everything around it is Oreo cookie stand. Weird. I'm telling you, it's a weird shit around. An OJ stand. Across the street from it is a cafe, and there were little old ladies drinking tea, watching families go into this place. Why families would go into Cyberdog, I do not know. It's very weird. But the minute you walk in, let me see if I can describe to you how this is. On your right side, as you walk in, besides throbbing techno, the right side is literally all male and female sex robots, but lined up in packaging, and they're it's fake, obviously, but they look like the 70s heavy metal style pointy boob robots, and they're just all lined up. And then at the top are just women go-go dancing, and then to your left is the counter where you can buy weird trinkets. So then you go down an escalator.
Family friendly.
Yeah, I can't figure out why there were kids in here. You go down the escalator, and suddenly you're in a rave area, and there's a DJ playing music where the wall does the little bars of music thing, whatever that's called. And then there's
Sound waves.
Sound waves. Thanks, Smarty. And then there's
I am in a band.
There's all of these rave accessories, and it's all blacklit, and it's very interesting. There are a bunch of robots banging each other, ? And I took a photo of one where it's two robots, and then their lower body parts are sort of wound together like a tornado. And so I was like, okay, sure. Then you turn a corner, and there's literally a security guard who then stops the kids, because the basement is just a sex shop. And all the art on the walls are robots having sex. And I was just this is maybe the greatest place. It's fascinating. It was, and downstairs there are more dancers, but the dancers are wearing lingerie instead of go-go outfits.
So how much did it cost to get in, and when are we going?
It doesn't cost anything because it's a shop. They want you to buy stuff, and it was a weird, bizarre moment for me, because I was like, this is everything I like, but I'm a little weirded out that they're just little kids running around taking photos. So I was like, I'm not sure I'm okay with any of this.
I've Google image searched this, and it looks like something that somebody watched The Matrix, the second video or the second
Absolutely,
movie,
that's
a
what
whole
it's
lot, and then they also got what people thought future fashion would look like in the 80s.
For me, it looks like somebody watched The Matrix, but then just remembered Tron and had this weird sort of marriage of both ideas.
It is very much what someone in the 1980s would imagine the future was like.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
It was. I understand we are less nervous about kids knowing about sex here, but I am not. I'm very American and an ultra prude when it comes to children and sex. So I'm going to stay away from all of that and just simply say it was weird for me a little bit. What was there was fine. The people inside of it was what was weird. I was like, who would bring? I guess it's
why is your babby here?
Yeah, why did you bring a stroller here? It was just, I had a lot of questions. The area wasn't weird. The concepts of what were inside wasn't weird. Art of robots banging wasn't weird. But children being present made it instantly weird. I was like, no, I'm not okay with this.
It's Jet Set Radio the store.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
There you go.
Yeah.
But
after watching The Matrix.
It was an event. That was the craziest place I went, and I spent time in Amsterdam just to give you sort of a level of how crazy that moment was for me.
What'd you do in Amsterdam, Jesse?
Nothing, dude. I didn't do a damn thing. Not on this podcast, anyway. Yeah. Look, when you spend 3 weeks in Europe, crazy shit happens, but it's not podcast accessible or relatable, so I'm not going to talk about it. Just know, in private, I got a lot of fucking crazy stories. Okay, anyway, let's talk games. Octo,
video games.
You mentioned you were playing your Digimon stuff. So we got that. Dodger, I'm interested in
you want to talk about the council?
Yes.
So I think I was trying to figure out whether or not the first part. So for anybody who doesn't know, the council is sort of like a mystery point and click story. Hi, I know. Do you want to help me tell them about the council?
Clark liked it too.
And it's episodic, so it's coming out in 5 parts. And it's one of those games where they claimed, oh man, every single thing that you do is going to have a huge
don't say the word claimed like that. That worries me a great deal.
No. I have no reason to feel that it's not that way. But I was going to explain that the way that they do that, or the way that they simulate that, is through skills. And so every choice that you make accesses different skills or establishes new things about you that unlock different forms of dialogue and different ways to do things in the game. So yes, every choice that you make does change what is accessible to you and how you can react to situations. So part 2 came out, and part 2 felt very short compared to part 1, but I don't know. I'm trying to remember. Jesse, how many hours do you think part 1 was?
4, 5, something like that. I remember I did a Fan Friday that was an hour long, and then I streamed, and that was like 3.
Okay,
4, maybe it was 3 hours, so maybe 4 or 5,
maybe
depending on what you do.
Maybe they're around the same, but my problem is that the second part had a couple of different puzzles that felt so like they took so long for me. So maybe this is just a problem with my brain, but I was like, I feel like the second part wasn't long. It was that I took a long time to get certain things done.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense? So by the time I was done, I was like, man, I feel like most of the time that I was playing this chapter was spent doing those things.
The first time didn't have any. It had one puzzle. As far as I'm aware, the first one had one puzzle, and it was when you were in your room and you're trying to figure out what your mother wanted. Right? I think that was the only puzzle, and that wasn't really a puzzle. It was like, figure out how to... It was literally, do you remember National Treasure, the game? Right. At that point. It was like, remember how they did this in National Treasure? It's the exact same way.
Yeah.
But you had to find how to do it that way.
It felt like the first chapter felt more like, we're going to establish how to do confrontations, and you're going to walk around a lot of rooms and like see if you can find all of the clues that you need to piece stuff together. Right. So this second chapter felt a lot more like, we're gonna establish certain things and have those confrontations like in the first one and have you talk with people, but you're also going to have a lot of time where you're just sort of walking around and looking for stuff, and trying to get through sort of a longer form puzzle.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Did you play from where you left off, or did you start something new?
I played from where I left off.
So, I don't think it's a spoiler to say at the end of the version we played, because I've heard other people say that they've had different endings in the first episode.
Totally,
the version we played, a character died. Right? I think we both had the same ending. Does that drastically affect... Because I really want to know, had I made different choices, whether it would drastically affect this episode or not.
I cannot even imagine what this chapter would be like if somebody hadn't died.
Interesting.
So it very much affected everything that I did in this chapter. And the way that they do, the way that they did on the last exciting episode of, to remind you of what's going on, is they actually go through every character and have them say kind of an establishing thing that was said during the first part. So like some sort of a reaction that they had to you that was based on choices that you made to remind you like, oh, this is where I stand with all of these people, was kind of how they decided to do it, instead of being like, here's a bunch of scenes and stuff that happened, So it was a bit more basic. Right. If it had been a longer period of time before I had played it. Like if it had taken like 6 months for it to come out instead of just a couple, I might have been like, I don't remember what this stuff means, you know?
I'm super, besides the fact that I realized, had we not done what we did and gotten the ending we did, the other option is literally like Bone Zone. I was so disappointed. There are screenshots of the one of the other options literally is like, remember that chick with like the very high res boobs? You would have seen those. And I was like, what? What? Oh, so mad. So I got to go back and play it again and do the other version now, because if you go to the Steam page for this game, in the forums are like, here's all these sexy screenshots I got of the lady. I'm like, what? How did I miss this? So I'm very disappointed in that. But I think the story that you and I had in the ways that we played, I think it's probably better.
Yeah,
But hold on. For the kids at home, the council. There, done. Great.
Check it out.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. You and I started with different, because there's like occultist, investigator, and one other one, right?
Yeah. I was Sherlock Holmesing the entire thing.
Right. I went super occultist so that I could be a weirdo and be like, yes, I know all about this shit.
Yeah.
But
definitely,
we ended up having very similar
we
stories,
did,
right?
but I feel like I really want to go back and watch what you did, because I feel like we got there differently. Because some of the things that I discovered, although some of the things I discovered had no use whatsoever. Like I was like, yes, good thing I used my physical attributes as a detective to pull up the plank in this floorboard to discover these items that my mother left for me. But then it was like,
and it was like, honey,
they do nothing, right? And it's like, yeah, I don't know. I have no idea why, but I want to play from where I am, and then maybe go back and do a stream where I play something totally different and play it because every so often you come across a choice. Like there's one choice where George Washington, by the way, George Washington's in this game.
Yeah, George Washington's like in this game. Napoleon's in this game.
Wait, like real ass George Washington?
Yeah. Well, so let's
it's
set
not
up the
like
game.
Just a guy named George Washington.
No. The setup for this game, for those who have no clue, is the intro is insanely hilarious. You and your mother are like part of a secret society, and you're adventurers. And
your mom runs the secret society.
Your mom, who is basically 90 years old, also is a badass who just like kicks everyone in the face and is amazing. She goes missing on an island, which is basically almost like Illuminati Island, where every world leader goes to meet this mysterious dude who is in charge of, I guess they decide the fate of the world, ? That's sort of like the thing they do.
Yeah, it's very all the world leaders come together, and over a glass of wine they discuss the world's problems and make choices about how shit is going to go down, basically.
Yeah, and your mom goes missing. That's like the setup of the thing. And so you have to go to this island to find your mom. And when you arrive, there's a bunch of different characters. There's Boobs, whatever the hell her name is, just the sexy Duchess.
She's the Duchess, yeah.
Okay. The sexy Duchess. George Washington, Napoleon, a bishop or a cardinal with the church, a mysterious woman who we won't spoil, who is a main character, and then
Carmen Sandiego.
It's not Carmen Sandiego, but it is related to another real life person. And then there's this mysterious count who runs the island but is missing and has a crazy backstory. Yeah, and so when you get to the island, you start to have visions, and the visions are very weird and bizarre. And from that point on, it's like you have to find your mom, and you have 3 options of doing it. You can either be a detective, your character's like a detective, or you can be, I believe it's something like a scholar or some type of...
Yeah, that sounds right.
Something that has to do with just being very, very smart, or you can be an occultist, and you sort of know about the occult. And that's sort of your role in this society. And so I went detective, I think Dodger went occultist, and this other version is one where you're very, very smart. And so the way the game plays it is if you specialize in one thing, you're an idiot in everything else unless you start to learn it. Because as you level up and as you achieve things, you can put points into skills And unless you have points in them, you're a dummy. So a great example is at the very, very beginning of the game. If you are a diplomat is what it is. If you're not a diplomat and you do not have access to, I think it's like Latin, just being able to read Latin.
Yeah, one of the things is language.
Yeah, there's like a Latin phrase on the ground as you walk up to this house. And if you can't read it, you're like, okay. You just like walk by it. And you
probably not important.
Yeah. And so that happens quite often. But
yeah, and like I was saying earlier, you can also be in a conversation with somebody and make some sort of a choice that then establishes like, oh, you've learned something about this, and it puts like a little tick into that skill.
Right.
So you could learn about a language, or you could read about something or talk with somebody who's very knowledgeable about it.
You can find books as well, and the books will, if you find a book about anatomy, it'll put points into like, your science has increased, and it'll give you a little tick into your science if you collect all the books.
Oh, and that's the other thing, is every character in the game has things that they are proficient in and things that they are weak to. And so if you like...
Oh, like Pokemon. So what type
just
of...
exactly
Absolutely.
like Pokemon.
Yeah, basically
yeah.
Pokemon.
It's like Pokemon.
So say that I broke
Big
into
brain.
somebody's room and started looking through all of their shit. There might be something that I find where the game would say like, oh, you've realized this person is obsessed with science. Mm-hmm. So you can never use science to overwhelm them. Like if you're in a conversation, you can't get the upper hand by using science because they probably know more than you.
Yeah.
So it like gives you like their positives and negatives, like what they're good at and what they're not good at, so that you can use it in confrontations in the game. So there actually is a lot to it. It's like a hilarious, weird mess
like
sometimes.
Steampunk Clue.
Kind of. Yeah, it's just
From everything I'm gleaning from what you're saying, I'm like trying to put this
yeah.
game together in my head.
It's like someone said, let's focus our assets on the strangest features of these people.
Mm-hmm.
Hire the widest array of voice actors in the history of voice acting.
Wow.
And come up with the craziest plot we can come up with.
Okay.
And it's a game that from one moment to the next could literally have the best and then worst thing you've ever seen in a video game. Like it's all over the place, but for some reason it's really entertaining. So I'm totally in to see what happens. But boy, it's just crazy. Some character faces are like really poorly rendered, but other times they're like, other features are like great boobs. And then sometimes the background is amazing, and other times it's like a weird, like it's kind of blurred. I don't know. It's crazy to me the way this game was made, but I'm blown away by it. I love it. I think it's so much fun, but I'm curious what happens in this next one. So if you think it's good, did you enjoy this next chapter, Dukes, or was it just short?
I got stuck more in this chapter than in the first chapter. But I'm still all in on the game. I'm still gonna. Yeah. I still think that it's really interesting the way that it plays, for sure.
Yeah, it's so. I'm fascinated by how bizarre it is. But you know what it reminds me of? Did anyone watch the Vampyr stuff they released?
Oh, yeah.
It kind of, at its core, the council very much seems like if you were going to take the Vampyr game that's coming out and then like dumb everything down as much as possible, but still have like the leveling mechanic in it, kind of. It's interesting to me, but that looked really, really cool. I don't know if anyone saw that, but Vampyr is basically a game where you're just like a vampire and you go around and you have to like live off the streets. It's kind of like if you would imagine Witcher, but set in towns and you're going around like just, it's awesome.
This is Super Dracula World.
Pretty much.
Literally a friend of mine has had this idea for a game where he's like, what if there was a game and you were just Dracula and you just went around and you were Dracula and it was like open world Dracula game. He's been saying this for like 10 years and he called it Super Dracula World. This is Super Dracula World.
It is. It looks awesome. I remember seeing it
Vampyr.
back at E3 last year, and what I recall from it was that the version that we saw, you could like determine what kind of vampire you became based on what you upgraded. So like you could be a sneaky boy or like a blood monster or everything you put points into, you become like a different type of vampire and what you could
like,
do.
Become like a Nosferatu where you're all like
yeah. But then people in the town would freak out because
freak out when they saw you. Oh
yeah. It seemed very, very
cool.
cool.
I want to play this.
Yeah. Every and the big selling point, at least what I got from the video they released and what I saw when I was at the demo, is everything you do matters. So and that's why it reminded me of The Witcher, where it was like everything you do in this game, like something happens, there's a ripple from it, and I love that shit. And when you start, you're just like, oh, I have limited vampire abilities, but as you become more powerful, the powers you choose determine the path of your vampirism and what you do and who you become.
This is day one buy for me. I'm literally buying it right now. I'm literally purchasing it as we are talking.
It looks
the
so
cover,
cool.
the I don't know if that's supposed to be the main character or whatever. He just looks like Adam Levine with a beard.
Yeah, I mean that's
like
kind of the point.
Shadow.
That's kind of the point is your I don't know how much you physically change, but I remember the point being that you're very basic in the beginning because as you become worse and worse and worse, you like shit happens. And so I'm really excited about that. I definitely am ready for this game because it may be I don't know how I would play this on the channel, but like everything about it, this definitely seems like a really cool stream game where you can just go nuts and murder people. And
this is a day one.
Octo's found his new game of the year already.
I'm fucking into it. I loved Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. It's one of my favorite games of all time. Yeah. And so like this seems like the next logical step for that.
Yeah, it looks very, very cool.
I'm sure Mathis has already bought it as well.
I mean, shit, I'm gonna buy it. I think everyone should. It looks
pretty neat.
Yeah,
it's a neat concept.
Yeah. Oh, unless somebody had something else to say. Have we talked about Spy Party at all? Did we ever mention that
game? No, I don't think any of us have played, except for wasn't there like an old ass version of Spy Party?
Can I talk about it for a minute? Yeah. Because I played it. I played it a little with Barry, and it's Barry Residue. Barry is streaming from who formerly of Game Grumps, and it's a lot of fun. This game has been in development for I think like 8 years or something like that.
Yeah, I played an old version of it way back in the day. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a new version that's out on Steam. It's still not 100% done, but the game itself is very, very enjoyable. It's a 2-person game. So one person plays as a spy and one person plays as a sniper. And the sniper sees the party and people that are interacting and the NPCs, but one person is real. And you have to figure out who it is by observing the behaviors of all the different NPCs.
It's fascinating to watch.
Yep.
Another human try
to be an NPC.
Yeah, you know how currently the big thing is like people trying to get computers to be more human.
Yep.
Different bots and stuff. This is like the reverse, where you, the human, have to figure out how to act the most computer-like. It's fascinating. I love watching videos.
Yes. It's really, really fun, and it's especially cool when you play off something as a mistake, or like you start to see these little things that the NPCs will do, and you start to mimic them. So for instance, like sometimes a computer will take a book out of a shelf, read it, put it back, and then take it out again, and so like as the sniper you have to be like, oh, that's weird, but is that just like an NPC doing that, or is it like somebody trying to throw me off? Or it's really, really cool. Or like, because everybody has collision, like sometimes you'll be trying to walk through a crowd and you'll like freak out and like turn every which way, and it'll look really strange, and it totally doesn't look like you should be doing that, but that's just how the pathing works. It's really, really cool. It's a lot of fun, and very much one of those games that you want to go back and see what you did, because you can, once you finish the round, you can go back and watch from both perspectives and go through and see what both people did, where you were looking, things like that. And the game gets really crazy at the advanced level, which is where anytime you do anything, like you do any action, you have a little skill check, right? So at the lower levels, when you do an action, you just sort of do them. But at the higher levels, you have a skill check. And so if you hit the expert skill check, sometimes it's really, really hard to detect. For instance, when you check your when you want to add more time as the spy, you go to the window and you check your watch, right? And the timer in the upper corner will jump up 45 seconds. That's at the lower levels. So that's a really easy tell for the sniper, because he's like, oh, somebody checked their watch. I saw the clock go up by 45 seconds. You just shoot anybody who was standing at the window.
Right.
But at the advanced level, if you do it and you hit the expert like timing on it, the clock doesn't go up. It just goes really slow until the times meet. So you as the spy, your time jumps up 45 seconds, but the sniper's timer just starts going really slowly.
So unless you were looking to notice it, you wouldn't necessarily pick it up right away.
Yup, it does. The timer doesn't actually change. It starts going really slow. But on the flip side, if you miss the skill check and you get the sort of the miss, then there's a huge tell that tells the sniper that the spy fucked up somehow. So it's like, if you miss the timer, same example, if you miss the timer, it beeps really loud. Like it gives the sniper like 2 beeps. It's like beep, beep. And so like your attention is drawn to the timer, and you can look for somebody who is checking their watch at the window. You can just shoot them.
So for someone who doesn't know anything about the game, the goal is for the sniper to shoot the player character, the other player. Okay.
Yeah, the other player. And the goal for the spy is to accomplish. So then there's like a meta. Like Barry and I have developed this meta for the game where for some levels, so for instance, for let's use advanced as the same, because that's what we were talking about, is there's 8 missions, but you have to do 4 of them, right? So there's certain missions that are like, one is like inspect 3 statues, and another one is swap a statue. So you have to swap a statue, you have to pick up a statue, and then as you're holding it, change it out for a different one and put it back down.
Right.
So obviously, the sniper is going to be watching the statues for somebody that would swap them out. However, you don't have to do those. You only have to do 4 of the 8. So that's the meta, in that you got to think about, okay, well, what are the ones that I want to do? What's the sniper going to be looking for? Where is he looking? Because the spy can see his laser sight at all times. So the spy can see where you're looking. On the flip side, you can, as the sniper, make it look like you're looking in one area, but sort of like move your mouse in another, sort of like, like look in another. So you can fool the spy into thinking you're looking in one area, but actually be looking in another. It's because, the laser is only where you can shoot. It's not necessarily where you are looking, but it is your main field of view.
Right.
But it is really, really fun and like very intense. Like there's very little talking that goes on whilst you are doing it, because like you don't want to throw yourself off, or you don't want to like give anything away, obviously. But it is it's really, really cool. I highly recommend it if you're looking. It's my analysis of it is it's the best transition from like what I would imagine a board game to becoming a computer game would be. That is like, it's very much feels like this was a board game that became a computer game. Mm-hmm. It's really, really cool. Highly recommended if you want something to play with a friend.
Cool. Yeah. I very much am like into this game and the ideas of this game, but it's one of those things where it's been out so long that I'm like, oh yeah, I played it. I had a lot of fun 5 years ago. It's crazy to me. This game has existed as long as it has.
They've added a ton of stuff, new maps. The art has been totally revamped. Missions, the different skill levels, things like that. I think the addition of the new, now that they actually hired a modeler to do the models and everything, it doesn't look all like super Simsy, like every character looked like.
Although that made it difficult back in the, because everyone looked like a robot.
Yeah,
so it made it really hard to tell.
Although the waiter and the security guards still have the old models. So we have these like nice new models and assets. And then you have like the old, janky Sims robot character models as well. And you can actually, there's a mode where you can play with the old art too if you want to. But the new art is actually very, very good. But yeah, if you're into that sort of like deception, kind of werewolf sort of find the traitor thing, highly recommended. Really cool.
I'll have to try it. It sounds fun.
Yes, absolutely. If you get another person and like get them on voice chat, it's a good time.
You'll have to give me pointers, Octo.
Yes, absolutely. I have the meta.
Anything else? Any other games that we've played this week?
Yeah.
I finally played Pillars of Eternity 2.
Yo,
I don't know.
to me.
I don't know if y'all have talked about that while I've been gone.
No,
but,
definitely not.
Gone.
Yeah, gone. Pillars of Eternity 2, I think, is like way better than Pillars of Eternity 1, and I honestly don't entirely know why. I just know that Pillars of Eternity 1 did not grab me really at all, and Pillars of Eternity 2 is super fun. It's stressful because it's not turn-based. So it's real time with pause. So you can pause and then choose what everybody's going to do, and then pause and choose.
Can I ask you a question that might have to do with your enjoyment?
Sure.
I'm really curious. So when you played the first one, what's the right way to word this? Did it feel old to you? Like you were playing a beautiful looking old game?
No, it just felt kind of lethargic, I guess. It felt like there was so much dialogue and story. And this one also has a lot of dialogue and story, but it feels like the pacing is just better, I guess.
I think maybe that's what I mean is it felt, to me, the first one felt like an older game, like in execution, I guess, like an old RPG, in the way old RPGs were done 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah,
and this
Baldur's
one
Gate style.
Yeah, this one feels refreshing and fun, and there's like the pacing is increased, and it feels a little bit more modern while still maintaining the sort of roots of what it is. I think maybe that's what I'm getting at. I don't know. I agree with you. I think it's a much better game than the first one.
Yeah. I've enjoyed it a lot. I will say I think that combat is the weakest part, which sucks because you are in combat a lot, but like there are just, I'm trying to think of examples before I say this, but I'm kind of coming up short. I feel like I don't entirely understand how combat works. And somebody in my chat tried to explain it to me, and it seemed so convoluted. Like the fact that it's happening in real time and you have to pause and like make decisions, I think makes it difficult because I will pause and then go, I don't understand why this ability isn't available. I don't understand why if I click on this thing, sometimes it happens immediately and sometimes it takes a minute for it to happen, right? Like some of that stuff is not clear. And then ship combat is like I feel like I need to be Einstein to understand ship combat.
This is one of the things I've heard repeatedly, and I don't remember we definitely did talk about this on the last podcast, I think, or I talked about it with someone that was on the pod. Whatever the case may be, I definitely have heard the exact same thing about combat from other people, but I've also heard the flip side, which is the combat's really easy, which I don't know how you can have two totally polar opposite opinions on a game like that, because I personally think the combat is like it's sometimes like, oh, okay, I got this, but most of the time I'm with you where I'll have cooldowns on things that I'm just like, wait, why can't I use this?
Right.
What is the reasoning? And I wish there was a tooltip or something that said, here's why, dum-dum, but there's nothing that tells me that, and I don't know why.
And you can adjust like the individual AI of all of the people in your team, right? So you can go into them and be like, all right, I want you to prioritize this, and I want you to do this, and when we enter combat, this is the first thing you do, like that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And I guess if you want to take the time to do that, you really never have to do it again. But that just seems like yet another kind of convoluted step I would have to take. So I just haven't done that, even though maybe it would make my life a lot easier. I'm just frustrated that it's it's not clear from the get-go what everybody's doing, and it's because it's all happening at the same time. So yeah, but I enjoy
story-wise, I really like it. I'm not
story-wise,
it's
anything. Great. Characters are
really
great.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. What are you?
I'm not gonna tell you that.
Oh,
there might be a video coming.
Yeah, I see. Never mind.
Do I need to play the first one to play the second one?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
It does the thing where at the very beginning of the game it takes you through and is like, tell me of your legacy, right? And then you learn everything that basically happened in the first game.
Sure.
When I first saw it, it reminded me of Divinity 2, and I didn't like Divinity, any of the Divinity series.
Look-wise,
really?
Sure. Look-wise, sure. I don't know gameplay-wise.
Gameplay-wise, very different. Yeah.
Divinity was just too slow for me. I mean, and if you say the combat's weak in this one, I'll probably give it a pass.
Oh God, this yeah. If you think Divinity's slow, this is gonna be slow for you.
Divinity was like, it's a pretty game, but it didn't grab me for the combat.
Right. Yeah, but that's fun. And I also went in and played around with the newest Slay the Spire class.
Ooh, yeah. What's the new class?
The new class. So you have to swap your game over to beta in order to play with it. But it's a broken robot basically, and it plays so much different.
Sorry, I just was thinking of Chrono Trigger. And
got it.
And then I immediately started thinking about how his theme song is literally just never gonna give you up, never gonna let you go. Play that game again. It's the theme song.
The new Slay the Spire class is super fun. It's really, really different. You channel like elements. So you're starting Trinket.
They're called orbs, Dodger. They're called orbs, okay?
Okay, God, calm down, Sinvicta.
Saying orbs doesn't explain what they are, though. So you, as this robot, you start off with like 3 different spaces for orbs, and the orbs contain different elements. So like you start off and your starting trinket makes it so that you start every combat with 1 lightning orb, and basically it's your deck starts off with the normal strikes and defenses, but then you also are able to channel things like lightning, dark, ice. They all do different things passively, and they all do different things if they're used. So so say that like you have ice, right? If you just have the ice channeled and it's just sitting there, then you'll gain a little bit of defense. You'll gain like shield at the end of every turn. But if you use it, then you'll gain a bunch of shield right away, but then the ice is gone, right? And with lightning, lightning does like a little bit of damage to one person at the end of every turn passively, or you can use it and you'll do a bunch of lightning damage to somebody, but you'll lose the lightning orb, right? It's hard to describe, but it plays so differently from the other classes, and it's honestly really refreshing. It's really fun to learn.
The defect is definitely my favorite class in the game right now.
Yeah.
Even after
really play this game more. I played it once when it first came out. And
you guys should play it more.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm missing out.
They have way more flavors now for you to deal damage and defend. I mean,
I love your descriptor. Way more flavors.
There's
so
new relics.
Flavors.
There's a new event that gives you apparition, which means that you've got 5 limited use cards that if you don't use, it's called apparition. And basically, if you play it on that turn, you cannot take more than 1 damage per hit from any source. But the thing is, they start off as ethereal, which means that you either play it or it's gone. It just gets discarded. You can upgrade them to where they're not ethereal, but you can only use them once, and you get 5 of them. That's it. But like, what's awesome about the defect is that you can it starts with 3 orb slots, and then you can increase the amount of slots up to 10 and have a bunch of different types of orbs. So there's lightning orbs, frost orbs, dark orbs, plasma orbs, and they all passively do something differently. And if you evoke them, which is what Dodger was talking about when you consume them, They'll do different types of abilities depending on what kind of orb that you were channeled. But what's fun is when you have like 10 slots. So he looks like Zenyatta from Overwatch, and you've got a bunch of lightning orbs. It's just like there's random lightning strikes
constantly doing damage. Yeah.
And
there are powers you can have where it's like anytime you take damage, you channel
lightning orb.
And then it'll evoke if all of your slots are filled up, then it'll evoke one of the lightning, and so you're just constantly doing crazy damage.
Fun. The way that's evoked. So like if you have, let's say you start off with the 3 orbs and they're all lightning. The one to the very right, clockwise, will get evoked or consumed if something comes up in the back slot to replace it. So like if you play like a card that makes you channel a frost orb, it's going to shift all of the orbs clockwise one. And the one that's at the very right will get evoked or consumed automatically and do its active ability.
I feel like this is like an algebra equation I should be reading.
It's really not. It's I know it sounds super convoluted, but it once you see it in practice and play,
it's like you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, there you go. It's just Yu-Gi-Oh.
I get it. Okay.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Slay the Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
Got it. I want to play that.
Yeah, it's the new
Blue
class.
Eyes
You'll
White
like
Dragon.
My blue eyes.
Hey, get time wizard out here. Now, man, Louie.
Play my trap card.
You guys got to try out Moonlighter. I think that especially you, Dodger.
Moonlighter
Talk to us about Moonlighter.
So Moonlighter, have you played it yet, Dodger?
No, not at all.
All right. Moonlighter is I play this game a ton. Moonlighter is basically a game where hold on, let me change this. Moonlighter is a game where you play as a shopkeep. You are basically I don't think you're like a Zelda character, but you're like a Linku kind of boy. And you a old man who runs the shop is like, it's your turn to take over the shop now, boy. And you have to run the shop basically. Yeah. And you have to run this shop for adventures. But because you don't have the items to make stuff for adventurers, you have to go to a dungeon at night and moonlight as an adventurer, wink, to collect items and build things and make weapons for your shop. And so what basically happens at the beginning is you go out to this dungeon and you go through I believe it's all randomized or some type of roguelite experience, but you basically go through and you fight and roll and kill enemies. And I think at the beginning you just have like a broom. Then eventually get a sword, and so you have to get all of these items, and then you go back to your base, your home, and you can either craft them or straight up just sell what you find. And you determine the price, and then people who basically look like spoofs of every RPG character ever. So like at one point a guy who looks like Cloud will come in, and a guy who looks like Link will come in. Like all those things, they'll come around and they'll look around, and they will either give you like they're very excited about a price. They'll be like, ooh, this price sucks. And that kind of thing. Or little kids will come in and try to steal items. You have to stop them from stealing stuff. You run a shop.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't run into that part yet.
I had a little asshole kid try to steal an item from me, and I had to stop him before I got out of the shop.
That's hilarious.
It is very, very fun, but much more difficult in the dungeon crawling aspect. Like you can get wrecked dungeon crawling.
Yeah. This does sound a lot like Reciteer.
I was gonna say, is it just like a better?
That's the game that a lot of people who, when I first started talking about, said it's just like Reciteer, and I've never heard of that game.
I think this one
is basically an updated.
Yeah, this one is a little more on the dangerous. Is that the right word? Like the combat part is more dangerous. Like you definitely feel like if you screw up, you're totally screwed, and it does that to you.
The combat is kind of like. I would say for me, it's close to Isaac if you were playing Isaac with a controller.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that there's contact damage, so there's no and there's no collision either. Or there's no clip with the character Will, who that's who you play, and then everything else. So you could have a statue like physically blocking a hallway. You can't just no clip through them. You have to use iframes to jump over them or roll. But the problem is that everything in the room goes straight for you.
Yeah,
and there's no way to stop them. You have a shield, but it doesn't do much. So, and your health is very, very quick.
Yeah.
It goes down very fast. But what's neat about this to me is that anyone who's ever played like a dungeon shopkeeper or that sort of reciteer, I guess. I like the deep economy aspect to it, because there's things you can flood the market if you are like there's a popularity rating for every single item in the game, and if you sell too much of it, it's going to drop the demand, and then concurrently going to drop the price. You can withhold stuff on your inventory to not sell it to raise the demand, but you control the supply, sort of thing. And it's that sort of depth is not something I was originally expecting from the game. I thought it was just like, okay, we're basically just like a glorified trash vendor.
One of the things I noticed, speaking of that, and I'm not sure, I can't tell you if this is actually how it works, but it's something I noticed on a playthrough, and I'm fascinated to learn more because I didn't play through enough. But so imagine you collect, I don't know, iron. I guess, let's say you collect iron and you go to your shop and you're like, well, I want to get rid of this iron so I can get some money and buy some better stuff. So you flood the market with iron. And you sell it cheap, right? It doesn't just lower the people's desire to get iron, but also, let's say you start making iron swords. People won't give as much a shit about iron swords because they can just make iron swords themselves with their own iron. Is what I've discovered. And I think that's fascinating. So if you give people the materials they need to make stuff, they no longer need to come to you, just like in an MMORPG or an RPG in general, where it's like, I'm just going to craft it myself because I'm the hero. That, I think, happens, at least from what I can tell, is what's going on.
I think that might be related to what vendors you bring into the town at the time. I think there's a very early on you can get the blacksmith whose name, this isn't a spoiler, his name's Andre, which is there's tons of references in this game.
Right.
You can bring Andre, who's a blacksmith, and then also the wood hat or someone. What the name of the enchanter who also makes potions?
I do not remember.
If you give them enough materials and they have the means to make it themselves, they're not going to buy it from you at a inflated price. And that's what I think is really appealing about the game, because there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff going on with the economy that seems like it's running in pretty good order. It has a very smart design behind it, and that part's a lot of fun. The dungeon crawling aspect is also neat, but I will say that with Jesse that the combat is actually tough. Pretty brutal.
Yeah, it's
this coming from a seasoned Isaac player. It's pretty tough.
Yeah, it's one of those things where if you goof,
you're boned.
Yeah, and it's not even like, oh, I shouldn't have done the attack that I went into. It's like if you just roll the wrong way at the wrong time, it's unforgiving. Should
also probably mention that if you die, you lose everything in the dungeon.
Yeah.
So there's a risk reward factor. You could keep going further into the dungeon, but you're increasing the chance of getting overwhelmed, or you can use what's called the pendant, and you can teleport out of there to say, all right, I'm done right. for now. So, but of course, the deeper you go, the more expensive artifacts you can find. It's a bunch of systems that work very well together in a surprisingly fun way. So far, anyway. I only have a couple hours into it, though.
The art is great. I really like the art a lot. It looks really beautiful.
Yeah, the pixel art's nice. Music's great.
It looks really beautiful.
Well,
I'm not sure what happened to you there. You're like, it looks really beautiful. It looks really beautiful. Octo, are you okay? Is everything?
I'm fine.
It looks really beautiful.
Keep going.
So it cracked him up. He's choking up so much. Yeah. It was so beautiful. It's pixel art, but it's done in the not overused pixel art way. Like there's a lot of frames in the animations that make it look very much fluid, comparatively speaking to other retro style games that are out right now.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I've also been playing. One other game I want to mention that just came out is Dungeon Hunter Champions, which is a Dungeon Hunter Champion. It's a PC and mobile game.
Now you got me looking up Dungeon Hunter Champions.
It's a gacha game, which is right up my alley because I love gacha games.
Oh, never mind. Pass.
What's neat? What's neat about this one is that it also has a MOBA mode in it, which is actually the combat is very, very good controls. They've been having some technical issues with it, but what's behind there is like if you think of if you think of Summoner's War or that sort of game with like, you can evolve creatures, it's basically Pokemon, but this one is a little bit more involved because you're actually using some of the characters as your main in the MOBA mode, which is 5v5. There's also there's PvP arena. There's also, it's all real time, by the way. It's not turn based like Summoner's War, which is, that part's a little bit more appealing to me. And the graphics are fantastic, even for like the PC.
Oh, there's kind of a cool raid boss you fight in one image. That's pretty neat.
Yeah. They've got Elder Drakes. They've got the Steel Widow. That's where you get all the high end gear from it, and there's elements and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, hold on. I'm gonna have to show this. Open a new tab. Save this image.
But I've been putting in a ton of hours into that game, and like I said, I'm a little biased when it comes to these type of games because I love to play them.
One of my favorite parts of games like this is when they obviously are trying to cash in on new crazes and new characters. Like this game obviously has your sexy fox girl and your like blind goddess with big boobs. That's all fine and dandy, and I like that stuff. But the thing I think is my favorite is this hero. I'm just gonna put this up on the screen.
I'm trying to think
this
which one
hero
Jesse
right
would come
here.
up with.
Weird. She looks so familiar. I just don't know where I've seen a person like this before. But shout out to them trying to keep up with Overwatch. It's great.
Yeah, the mercenaries. Yeah. There's a big WoW influence.
Although, wait, hold on. Hold the phone. Obtained 1/8/2/18. When did the newest Overwatch hero come out? Because they copy off of this game?
Oh shit!
Wait
a second.
You talking about Bridget?
Yeah, Brigitte.
Yeah, wait, when did Brisket come out?
Look at that.
When
Look at
when did Brisket come out?
Oh my God, Brigitte. I think
I don't know when she came out.
Overwatch copied this game. I'm just gonna put it out there.
It's possible.
Kaplan, copier.
Jeff, what's up? What's the deal?
Why are you copying, Jeff? Why are you copying? I know people might say it takes a while to come up with characters and implement them in the games, but I say to you, why are you copying, Jeff? Why are you copying?
You guys are on a first name basis with Kaplan now?
Yeah, with Jeff.
We call him DJ Jazzy. Yeah, that's how first name we are.
Short, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I've been enjoying the game. If you don't like those kind of games, you're not going to like this one. But the MOBA aspect's a lot of fun. What's nice about it is just that it is on PC, and they are bringing in some patches that address some of the technical issues that the game has been plagued with since release. It only released 2 weeks ago, but it's free to play. I mean, give it a shot if you like that sort of game. If you're looking for something new and you're sick of games like Summoner's War,
but
I like this one.
Here's the question: can I dump my actual money into this game to unlock people?
Absolutely.
There you go.
Well, no. You can't use your money to unlock people. You have to buy summons, or in this case, discs.
Is this a mobile game?
Yeah, it's PC and mobile.
With which to play mobily?
Yeah.
I just want to get. Look, I'm not saying I've been looking at screenshots of this blind boobed woman for the last however long we've been talking about this.
She's called a boom sister. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. She is a boom sister. That's a boom sister right there. Hey,
everyone calls her boob sister anyway.
Damn right they do. Come on. That's the first thing that came to my mind when you name someone that. Yeah. So okay, cool.
It's a lot of fun.
Any other games before we head to break really quick?
Just Isaac. Lots and lots of Isaac.
Too much Isaac, some might say.
I played. I feel bad saying this because Dukes is in chat, but I ended up playing We Were Here Too.
That's totally fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I felt bad because we played the first one together.
It's all good.
I played We Were Here Too, which is like a 2-person escape room kind of game. That was pretty fun. It's just like matching symbols with other symbols, but you can't quite see all the information, so you have to communicate with the other person. It's fun if you want like a fun little like puzzle, 2-player puzzle experience. It's a good time. I would recommend
games like that.
Yeah,
you must have really liked Keep Talking, Nobody Explodes.
Yeah, Keep Talking, Nobody Explodes is good. This has more of like a narrative to it, and like how would you say it? It's more like a first person kind of puzzle adventure thing, but it was fun. Some of the puzzles were a little obtuse, but I think we only died like twice or something like that. It wasn't too bad. But yeah, it was a good time, and there's like secrets to find and these like switches.
How long is the game in total?
Ooh, Ooh, I would say like 3 hours, maybe. It's pretty short, but maybe less than that, actually.
I gotta hang out with you more, Octo.
Can I ask you-
I like those kind of
Can I
games.
ask you a question,
for
Octo?
sure. Shoot.
The weird creature that is in the ceiling and stuff, does that pay off?
Oh, the
like shadow thing?
The jester?
Whatever the hell that thing is. F that
Yeah.
thing. It's terrifying.
Yeah, no, it sort of. So they sort of talk about it, but
They sort of talk about the terrifying thing that watches you the entire game?
Yeah, wait, are you talking about in We Were Here 1?
2. And we were here 2. Did you not see it?
Well, I saw it, but did you? They talk about it. There's like a dialogue, like a journal entry that talks about it.
Oh, well, I'm not gonna blame the partner that I had for the time that I played, but
Grendor.
someone burnt all the journals when I fell in a stairwell of fire, so.
Grendor.
Oh, okay.
I bet it was Grendor.
All right. Is that it? Then are we good? Can we go to commercial break and take some time? All right.
Yeah.
This is the part where I fail to transition properly into the commercial, but we'll be back with some news and some games that are coming out. If everyone can remember to go look at those, wink. And we'll be back very, very shortly with some more stuff. So thank you, and we will see you then. Today's episode of the Co-optional Podcast is brought to you by Squarespace. Whether it's domain, website, or online store, make your next move with You know what, Dodger, what are you doing here? Didn't you just have a baby?
Oh, yeah, but I have something really important to do. I need to make a website for daily pictures of her. You know, for the grandmas.
Yeah, for the grandmas, right.
Yeah, it'll be easy because I can put my videos and pictures on one of Squarespace's award-winning templates.
And I guess their incredible customer service has dealt with a lot of weird moms.
What was that?
Nothing.
Now, I just need to figure out if I should organize them by day or by outfit.
Oof. Okay, start your free trial today at squarespace.com and enter offer code CYNICAL to get 10% off first purchase.
Squarespace. Make it.
Hello, everyone. We are back.
Hi,
oh,
everybody.
my goodness.
Hello.
All right. Let's talk news and things, right?
Yes, please.
There's got to be stuff to talk about. There's got to be
Of
news
course.
and things happening in the world.
Oh, crabsolutely.
Yeah.
Crabsolutely.
Crabsolutely. Bless you. Bless you and your beautiful sweater, which I love,
Hey,
by
thanks.
the way.
You want to get it? You want to see a good shot of it? Here,
I do.
check this out. Isn't this cool?
It's great. It's fantastic. It is the least camera-friendly sweatshirt I've ever
I
seen in
know.
my life.
It's probably freaking out trying to render
But I
this.
love it. I think
It's cute.
it's you continually have the best clothing.
Aw.
And dare I say, best emotes on Twitch.
Oh,
Don't let
thanks.
anyone tell you otherwise. Best emotes on Twitch. Yeah.
I
Okay.
guess so.
So
Octonut.
news and things. News and things.
Thanks, Steve.
Right off the bat, I think let's start with some fun, positive news.
Okay, sure.
Although, depending on who you ask, this may or may not be a positive news choice. There's gonna be a Monster Hunter movie.
Oh boy.
And, yeah. This could either be amazing or not. I'm going to just give you the facts based on what I know, and I'll let you decide.
Hit me.
All right, Monster Hunter is coming out.
Okay.
It has a $60 million budget, which may or may not be good, because $60 million to make a monster movie, who knows? It could be.
That is, I mean, that's almost triple the cost of Blood Rain. and
That's true.
so,
It's a lot of money.
That's
But-
a lot of money.
But let's get down to brass tacks, because really, this is a movie starring Mila Jovovich, who is the star of the other Capcom IP, Resident Evil,
That's true.
directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, who now, you're probably thinking, strange, he directed all the Resident Evil movies. That's true. And the special effects team is all the Resident Evil special effects team. If you're wondering why all this is happening the way it is, it's because Paul W.S. Anderson is married to Mila Jovovich, and he casts her in all of his movies. So
Oh.
that's why you're getting the cast you're getting. And it is literally
I didn't know that.
every Resident Evil movie, but now it's Monster Hunter. Here's the thing. Resident Evil was insane because the plot made no sense ever. But it was fun to watch. It was just they weren't great. This
I mean,
one, Monster
yeah.
Hunter, I feel like they can do whatever the fuck they want with this.
There's never been a plot in a Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter
game.
plots are very basic. They're
Yeah.
like, stop the big thing from doing the thing. Especially if they go by Monster Hunter World plot. The Monster Hunter World plot is very like paper thin.
That's the first Monster Hunter game that ever had an actual plot.
That's what I'm thinking about. It's like the setup to what's going on in the world is so paper thin. They literally couldn't like go back, watch the first Resident Evil game after playing any Resident Evil, and you're like, the fuck is going on? But it's still kind of like pseudo in that world. Mm-hmm. Eventually they go off the rails. But with this, with Monster Hunter, there are no rails to be on. They just sort of need to be like, okay, you are going to hunt big monsters, the movie. Which is all spectacle, because that's all the game is anyway, is spectacle. So depending on where you stand, this could either be amazing, or you're like, ugh, I don't like this. Either way, I have no clue where this goes. I have no idea what's about to happen.
I enjoyed the first Resident Evil. That was not a bad movie. It was a bad movie.
The first one was bad, but it was entertaining, right?
Yeah, it was entertaining, yeah.
All the other Resident Evils were terrible, except for some of the Wesker scenes were straight up out of the game, which was like... Yeah.
That was total fan service, though.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And with Monster Hunter, it almost feels like Capcom was the ones who were pushing for a movie, not how it usually is with the other way around with like Hollywood pushing. They like seemed like they were bugging Capcom for this. Like I could totally see them doing it. Like we want to make Resident Evil movie versus, like, let's make a Monster Hunter, because Monster Hunter's never really until World has ever been huge in the West.
Right. And I think this is the
4U sold incredibly well here. 4U was huge here.
But everything
comparative to what? Like Monster Hunter World is undeniably huge.
Yeah.
But I feel like saying 4U was like, it was big, but not. I think you can compare the two.
No,
Monster Hunter World put it on the map, and people knew it existed, and people knew people who played it. Right? Am I crazy? Yeah. But it wasn't like one of those things where now it's like.
But 4U sold. Did 4U do more than Generations?
Overall? Yes, I think so.
That's what I thought. Yeah. But but overall though, Monster Hunter's never been a franchise that really caught on with a Western audience until World, really.
What's up?
My God, it just hit me.
What happened?
This is a movie with Mila Jovovich and a CG cat. Y'all, this is going to be fucking amazing. I stand correct. I'm ready for this movie. I'm ready for this goddamn movie. They have palicos in this shit?
They're going to put palicos in it.
They're going to put palicos in it, and I hope it just looks like Puss in Boots from Shrek.
God, me too.
If it's just Puss in Boots.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
I'm definitely not seeing it now.
I need a chef scene. I need a buffalo. They need to just make it Monster Hunter World, the movie, and I'm in. I want all the tropes from that movie, or that game, put in this movie. Oh my God. I didn't even think about that till now. It's going to be 2 hours of her and a cat hunting monsters. That would be amazing.
Maybe Monster Hunter 4U didn't do as well as in NA as I thought I did. It didn't even sell 1 million copies.
I was going to say it wasn't.
It sold 2.63 million in Japan and like 720,000 in America. I thought it was way more than that.
Well, the thing is that game it is a game that was popular, but not in
mainstream
terms of like people buying it. Is everyone knows Monster Hunter exists? Everyone knows what it is, but it wasn't until World came out that people were like, I guess I should pick this up too.
Mm-hmm.
And people bandwagon that game hard.
It just wasn't mainstream. I mean, until World. But that's why I said I think it feels a little bit more like this was pushed from a Capcom side than, because now that World did gangbusters for them in numbers, they're like, hey, we can now make this into a movie and probably make even more money.
Oh my God, I desperately. You know what? I'm gonna offer a tip. I'm gonna offer a tip to Paul W.S. Anderson, who I know is watching right now at home.
Yep. Definitely.
Grab your lady, bring her next to you, Paul. I want the two of you to watch this. This is my advice to you on how to make this movie.
All right.
You have $60 million.
Uh-huh.
$35 million needs to go to making the Palico design, and then everything else is spent on men in suits as the monsters. That's all. Like Godzilla, but the Palico is the best CG the world has ever seen. No one will care. No one will care that you're fighting Godzilla monsters.
Yeah, and it's like men in rubber suits,
yes, rubber-suited monster
Tokusatsu
men.
style. Okay,
yes,
okay.
But spend all the money on Palico design and development. People would not care. People would not care at that point. Mila, I love you. I want to see you fight a giant man in a suit with a CGI cat.
Wait, hold on. But I don't want the people to be like bigger in scale than what it looks like. So it's just like regular size Mila Jovovich climbing on regular size.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Trying to stab him in the neck. Yeah.
Yeah, and in like an alleyway, like most of the YouTube videos that are shot, like just an alleyway behind a studio. Yeah, not even a set. It's not even in a forest. It's maybe on a beach somewhere.
Yeah,
and she's like fighting a crab monster on a beach.
Just put him in
it's just a guy in a crab suit. Yes.
And the music is just a man holding like a speaker next to them. There's not even like a score to it.
All the money is spent on Palico
You can
design.
see the boom in the shot. Yeah.
Good.
Every cent is spent on Palico.
Give him a steel chair and a trash can and just let him go to
$20,000 spent on just cute eyes alone. Or $20 million on just eye technology. So every shot, the Palico eyes are like, oh, I love it. Every single cent. I want that. God, I want that so badly. I didn't even think about. I was like, it could be okay if they put Palicos in this shit. Best movie ever.
It could really be incredible.
It could be incredible. I didn't even think about it.
I now have no hopes for this movie.
No hopes, or
they're all out the
finally
window now.
have hopes.
Yeah, exactly.
I have no hopes. I'm the only anti-cat here, I guess.
What? I think all animals are lovely.
Damn.
Almost all of them.
Even Gooey Duck.
Even gooey ducks. Gooey ducks are nature's dick joke.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It is a dick joke.
Yeah.
Every time I look at one of those, I'm like, why was this in an episode of Hell's Kitchen?
Was it really?
Yeah, where he's like, you've got to cook with these. And he reveals it, and it's like dicks on a table. And everyone's like, what? Yeah.
It's supposed to actually be pretty good, though, if you like oysters or clams or that sort of thing.
Sure.
Which I do.
I do not.
I'll
never taste the delightful Gooey Duck.
Anyway, $20 million on CG cat eye
$30
technology.
million. Yeah, $30 million on the cats, $20 million just on the eyes.
On the eyes.
Half your budget if you put it in that, and then the rest of it, I don't know, another $15 million to pay the two of you because you're doing all the work, and then the rest of the money goes to hiring men.
There's no more money.
Suits.
There's only $60 million.
Yeah,
you've already spent
$30 million, $15 million, and then there's another $15 million, and that goes to like licensing fees for 9 Inch Nails songs. And guys in suits.
Yeah,
you'd have the best damn movie. I would watch the shit out of this thing.
Here's the question: do you think it's gonna have a subtitle? Like, do you think it's gonna be like Monster Hunter? Attack of the Monsters or something like that, or do you think it's gonna
Reloaded? I think it'll be like
Reloaded.
I think it'll be Monster Hunter will be the name of the movie.
Yeah.
I really think they're just gonna call it Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because it's super simple. And,
I agree with it.
Yeah.
I think that they're gonna think that audiences in the West are gonna want something more out of the title.
But like it explains exactly what it is. You're hunting monsters.
Yeah,
like that's
true.
Well, and something else to think about. They also did the same thing with the first Resident Evil. It was called Resident Evil.
Yeah.
I suppose that's true.
It's a name that at least people over here now, are well aware with.
But the sequel will be like Monster Hunter 2
Ultimate
Revengeance. Yeah.
the Revengeing.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. It'll be
Resurrection of the insurrection.
Resurrection. Hold on. Now, fuck. Now I gotta go do this. I have to look up all of the Resident Evil movie series
Outbreak,
titles.
Extinction.
Yeah.
Insurrection.
So the next one is Monster Hunter Apocalypse. The next one's Monster Hunter Extinction.
Yep.
Monster Hunter Afterlife and Monster Hunter Retribution. Then Monster Hunter, the final chapter. You know.
And then the relaunch. And then the reboot.
And then the reboot happens. And then it's just MH.
Yeah.
Oh my
and then
God.
it's just, but Mila Jovovich in CGI form has been turned into one of the Palicos.
Mm-hmm.
That's her cameo.
Yeah,
right,
one of them is gonna. It won't even have Monster Hunter. It'll be just called like Monhun. Like
Monhun
4. People will be like, oh shit. Yeah. Okay, well, speaking of insane, ridiculous things, this past week, my Twitter feed was blown up with people demanding I comment on this. Thankfully, I said nothing because it turned out to be nothing. There was an insane thing that happened with Steam and Valve. Apparently, they told a lot of developers, for example, the Honey Pop team, that they were going to be removing the game because it contained naughty bits and was against terms of service now, and it was re-reviewed or some nonsense, and everyone went crazy. The internet blew up. People were like, "Oh, my boobs," which, as a fan of them, I was a little like, well, this seems strange. But as with all things, turns out this was a nothing. And Steam messaged everyone and was like, "Yeah, no, hey, ignore that. We goofed and we're sorry. Sorry about that. That was our bad."
Yeah, that was a really bizarre situation because there were so many. It wound up becoming the conversation again where people were going, "Man, it really sucks that they have such a monopoly." And for them to say, "Hey, we're not going to put your game on Steam," could really hurt us a lot, And so, bye, Sinvicta.
Sinvicta's gone. Bye, Sinvicta.
Bye, Sinvicta. Love you, miss you.
Yeah.
And
now
so
Sinvicta is Octo, and Octo is a black and gray screen.
And
That's
I'm
me.
the same.
Me too. We're doing great.
Hey, look at us. But yeah, and so there were all of these companies that are like, that's like, if that's going to be the case, then that's not really fair because we worked with you guys to make sure that we followed your guidelines.
Yeah.
Right.
So for you to say, "Oh, never mind, we're not going to put your game on Steam or we're taking your game down from Steam," when we did everything to make sure that we followed, that we were square. We we did everything that we needed to do to be on here. Yeah.
I mean, I think from a stepping back a little bit from this, I always find it so weird that violence in video games is cool, but sexual stuff in video games isn't.
Yeah.
I feel like that's been the way for a while when it comes to American produced anything, right?
I know, and I'm it has been for a while. It's just so strange to me, from
I agree
that way, that literally they would take that kind of stuff off, but they wouldn't have you still have massively violent video games. I mean, I guess that's a bigger discussion, but it's so weird that they would go through and just be like, "Oh yeah, by the way, titties."
And I guess one of the other things, and I didn't look into this very much, so I don't know how true this is, but one of the arguments that a lot of people were giving is it's specifically anime titty games that we're getting focused on, and there are lots of games with breasticles in them on Steam.
Well, the thing I think that sparked the most controversy was what the hell's that party game?
Mario Party.
No, not Mario Party. I wish
Sonic Shuffle.
Penis
Shut
Party.
Up. I hate you so much. House Party is the name of the game.
With Kid and Play.
Exactly. House Party. I literally I went online to see what this game was because I got a free code for it a long time ago. No video exists because it is a bad game, and I don't. People keep making videos of this. House Party is a game where you are a dude at a party, and the objective is to bang all the different girls at the party.
Right.
And over time, they've added mods and different things you can do where it gets a little more graphic. But the base Steam game is black bar. It's a game that you have to patch, right?
Right.
And I think that was sort of what Steam's idea was with all these games. Look, we're going to put these games out there, but our version will not have the dirty stuff. You have to go to the developer's website or do whatever. And I feel like that's fine. I think Steam's allowed to say the version you download from us won't have the dirty bits, but you can get it if you want to by going to these other links, which is fine. And I've always been okay with that. But I think the thing is that for some reason, this is the game that got people really worked up because the whole point is you're basically scamming these girls into having sex with you is sort of the premise of the game. I will say I played about an hour of it and hated every minute because it's not fun and a procedural so we're going to get this one girl to have sex with me. I have to lure this guy out of this room so he won't beat me up. Okay, cool. What do I have to do? It's not a fun game. Yeah. I don't like any of it. It was not a cool this is hot. It was terrible. It is definitely one of those things where I can see why it would offend people, but I don't know that it's
But then punish that game. You know, if
exactly. Well, that's the thing. If it made it through Steam's checklist of everything, then it shouldn't. I can get why you'd be offended by the game, but if it checks out with everything on Steam, it's very much like dealing with Twitter anger and people or Twitch anger and people being like, well, that person has boobs, and it's like, yeah, but they're doing everything that according to the rules of Twitch they're allowed to do, so get the fuck over it. Like, that's where it's at. And I feel like that's the same thing with this. I have the same idea where if Steam says this is what it is and it's okay, then why the fuck do you care so much?
Yeah.
Because at that point you're just being like an ass. I don't know.
But like I feel like I said, you know, and I agree with you. I feel like you should. That game should be punished for, you know, whatever the guidelines it's breaking or what have you. I don't think you should just be like, okay, do the collective punishment thing where it's like, okay, all sexy games should go. I mean, not that they did rescind it, but still the fact that it was put out there in the first place,
right?
You know, they were going to make the choice to axe all the sexy games.
Well, I don't think anyone knows if that was an on purpose thing or where it came. Like, Valve hasn't necessarily said why that email occurred and why they were contacted and what the reasoning behind that was. Maybe it's been updated since, but I've seen no reasoning of the initial message. I've seen a bunch of stuff saying, look, that was a mistake. But why was it a mistake? What happened during that process to cause that to happen? I truthfully don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
But of course, because this is the way the world works, the National Center for Sexual Exploitation took all the credit online, saying they were part of the initial charge to get this to happen. It was part of a 2-year campaign to remove sexually graphic games from Steam. But Valve was like, no, they had nothing to do with this. And I guess this is one of those things that like people love to justify their existence as like an organization. So maybe that's why they said it. But yeah, it's a very weird situation that I'd love to hear what like the Honey Pop devs and all the different anime booby game devs have heard from them, because I feel like it's weird to get a message that says we're going to remove your stuff and then get a message that's like, whoops, my bad. Why was it your bad? What happened during that time period to make this a worrying thing? I don't think we have that information at all, which is weird. I have no clue.
Sorry about that.
Hi.
That's okay.
So yeah, I can't. My webcam won't start now, but
you're back. It's fine. We have your name on the screen.
Can you guys hear me okay at least?
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
Okay. Sorry about that. The power went out.
That's okay.
So in case you missed it, Sinvicta, we were talking about the delightfulness that is booby games being removed from Steam and then immediately put back on Steam, because that was
I mean, Valve has never been good at, I guess, in any situation of communicating clearly, I guess.
Right.
It's funny that they go after these kind of games. It's like, I've always thought that the visual novel, not visual novel, but dating sim games were always kind of like tongue-in-cheek, cute about like nudity and stuff, but didn't show any like hardcore.
No, you'd be wrong. There's some dirty ass shit out there, my dude.
I obviously don't play
dirty stuff. Here's the thing, though. I don't think it matters at all, because like,
are they talking about context of how it's displayed, or is this
no? There was nothing. I mean, that's the problem. Is there's nothing said. It was like, we are going to remove this wide swath of games, and then we're not going to remove this wide swath of games, and there was no actual like reasoning for any of it. There was no communication.
So
it was just very weird, and I think that's the problem.
The thing that I always bring to light about nudity in games, I mean, I personally don't care as long as like it's not widely available to kids or whatever. Who really cares? We're all adults mostly. But like the game that I play a lot that actually has nudity in it, surprisingly, is Papers, Please, and that has gratuitous nudity. I mean, it's not sexual in any way, but it's still naked. You know, it's a naked human portrayed realistically on a video game, and that's I never hear anything about a game like that. You know, but I just again, I guess it's all about context, and not them and Valve not elaborating on it kind of opens the door for interpretation, which is not good, because if they're going to make a hardline stance on bringing specific games down and then totally just saying, "Oh yeah, our bad, whatever." It's without explaining exactly what was the reasoning for it. It's a gray area. I don't think that's good.
Well, I definitely agree with Octo at his initial point of like.
Sorry if I reiterated that Octo said.
No. Octo basically said that violence in gaming is crazy on Steam, but like nudity is a no. And it's a very puritanical view of gaming and culture and especially America, where it's like, oh, a butt, that's terrible, but like watching a person get blown up, acceptable. And it's a weird way of looking at things, but I guess it all comes. I don't know. I'm not sure I quite understand why the reasoning happened, but I guess it doesn't matter because Valve will never tell us anyway.
It reminds me of the old. It's an old school argument of like of people being enlisted into the army at 18 but not being allowed to drink. Like they can go off and die for their country or whatever, but they can't have a beer, to talk about it or something like that. That's an old adage. That's sort of along the same vein of what of the violence versus sexual stuff is. I mean,
well, speaking of American values and ideas, let's talk net neutrality real quick.
Yeah.
So
let's do it.
More positive news.
Yeah, our great and wonderful well, first off, as you probably all know, the FCC back in December voted to eliminate net neutrality. And big ass Ajit Pai, who I just hate as a human being, somehow managed to push that through. And the world was like, what do we do now? Well, because we have checks and balances in this delightful country of ours, the United States Senate voted to restore it. And they said what happened is wrong and borderline illegal. And so they voted 52-47 to restore it. And that is basically, I believe it was on lines that net neutrality regulations place an unfair burden on ISPs that stifles innovation. And supporters argued eliminating regulations would open doors, allowing them to prioritize traffic, et cetera, et cetera. Whatever the case may be, they decided that they would vote to make it vote to restore the original regulations.
Right, they're repealing it.
Welcome to our government. We have two chambers in Congress, and so while the Senate voted to, the House has yet to vote on this. But since it is heavily dominated by the political party that is in favor of ending net neutrality, it may
Republicans.
Yeah, it may end up in some trouble. So who knows? But we will see very, very soon what will happen.
To my understanding, the first hurdle was the easiest one of them getting it to repeal the vote. But now going through the House is like that's the super hardcore challenging one.
We will see what happens. But what is definitely true is that everyone who tweeted and talked about and you saw a lot of companies. One thing you'll learn very quickly about government is that if money is involved, people will respond very differently. And so the more you see tweets and the more you see people with the little like check mark next to their name being very, very angry about this, the more people respond. And so even though the House and the Senate are both Republican controlled, still there was the Senate passed the thing saying like, we don't want this. So who knows what will happen. But at the moment,
I've always found it curious that the main argument against net neutrality was that it stifles innovation for the ISPs, because like ranking globally, the US ISPs suck for speeds and for everything. I mean, you look at like South Korea,
that is not about net neutrality. That's about the fact that literally most places only have one cable company or internet company and no competition.
Right.
So
but I'm wondering where the argument of it stifles innovation, though. Like,
because they're full of shit and they're lying.
Yeah.
Because they're liars and they're douchebags and they're saying whatever.
That's what I was getting at. It's like you talk about innovation. What kind of innovations are we holding back here? Better speeds? Because The rest of the world has it.
They're definitely lying to you in order to get you to believe. I mean, the fact that originally the trick for net neutrality was people saying, like, trying to get you to believe the reverse, that net neutrality was like, don't you get it? That's them trying to take away your freedoms. Like that kind of shit. Like
only the pirates want net neutrality back.
Yeah, like that kind of crazy stuff where they're trying to trick you into thinking the thing you wanted was not the thing you wanted. That was the first strategy. And now they're just like, no, it stifles innovation, which is another bullshit thing. By having it being open, that's how you get innovative stuff. Like it's
that's how you get more ideas out there.
Yeah.
Is by not restricting, the channels like that.
Yeah. The name net neutrality is an awful name to like. It's very people are like, wait, what is it again? I think that's also a big problem.
Well, if it's neutral, then how can it be all that bad? But at the same time,
pick a side, man.
Yeah,
Internet.
Don't be neutral about net neutrality. Yeah,
it is definitely one of those things where, having lived around different parts of the country, when I lived in Ohio, for example, you had one choice. It was Time Warner. That was all you had. There was no other choice for your internet, and that's just what you got. And what they offered you was like all the different options. That's what you had to choose from. And you had like slow and medium and fast, and that was it. And that's a huge problem in this country because companies are buying up all the other cable companies. And now there's like 4 cable companies. Cox, Time Warner, and 2 others that I can't
Comcast.
remember. Comcast. Comcast owns a ton of shit.
Yeah.
But Time Warner got bought by someone else. I don't remember who that is. Time Warner is now something different. But and which I think is really funny because they're basically like, oh no, we're no longer Time Warner doesn't exist.
Yeah,
they can't be
Spectrum
bad.
now.
Spectrum, yeah.
Spectrum.
So you can't
There
shit
you
on
go.
Time Warner because it doesn't exist. It's Spectrum cable now.
I was so confused when I started getting letters in the mail that were all from Spectrum, and I was like, fuck these. This is some other company trying to.
And they're like, no, this is us.
Yeah, we have a different name now, but we're still just as bad. Yes, exactly. They're still just as bad.
They changed. It's like, oh yeah, we're much improved now. Like what? Oh, you guys changed the entire infrastructure for your ISP in like a day because you changed the name. I severely doubt that. They all go through the same channels.
Yeah, it's just awful, just not good. But that's the problem. The problem has nothing to do with net neutrality. The problem has everything to do with the fact that if there were more cable providers, because they're all using the same fucking wires.
That's why I said they're all coming from the same source.
Yeah, they're all using the same stuff. But if there was competition, then we'd see increased speeds. But that's not an issue, that's the reason why we lag behind, because most companies that provide us internet have no incentive to give us faster speeds because it doesn't do anything for them.
Right, and these are the companies that supposedly are doing it for our benefit to get rid of net neutrality.
Right.
We're supposed to believe that.
Yeah. No, you definitely should ignore the fact that Verizon is behind like the biggest push to end net neutrality. Like, why would they have to gain from that? Ignore that stuff. It's about innovation, y'all.
Yeah, let us innovate. God, America.
Yeah.
Just get off our backs. Just take away net neutrality so we can actually work for you.
I think that might be it for like the big new stuff. There is, I'm kind of really excited about We Happy Few coming out with like an actual story mode, but apparently the story mode is not even being classified in Australia because for whatever reasons, I'm not sure what exactly, but that probably means that there's some dirty bits and or violence they don't like. But I'm thrilled because if you remember We Happy Few, the original premise of that game was like a 1960s England where everyone's taking drugs to make themselves happy, and it had an amazing trailer. The first 15 to 20 minutes of that game are incredible, and then it became like a roguelite and was kind of dumb. Now they're actually making a real game with a real story that seems very much like BioShock-y, which is...
Right.
I'm excited. Hopefully they'll have stuff at E3.
It's always been weird to me that Australia is the uptight one when they've got like 50 ways to die just for waking up. It's a country that worries about
Australia's super uptight. Uptight.
I know, it's surprising. It's like, come on, Australia, get on the ball.
It's drugs that are the problem. Okay.
So
the whole premise of the game is the problem. It's the idea that you have to take happy pills.
But you're resisting the you're resisting the drugs.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to. You can actually take them in the game, and it changes the world around you, which is really funny. So that interesting. Australia is, even though America's uptight as shit, Australia's super uptight. Which I think is crazy because it definitely seems like it's a government thing, because when I was in Australia, everyone was super chill and everyone was like really nice.
They were all on drugs.
They might have been. It's very possible.
Just kidding.
They were like drinking in the street. People were having like a good old time. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the government, as far as I've been told, is all awful. But the country is awesome. Everyone in it that I met was really, really cool.
I wonder if they have any of the Lisa games in Australia.
They might. I'm telling you, they don't have a lot of games. I went to a it wasn't a GameStop, but it was something very similar. It might have been an EB Games, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah, or Egghead. There you go.
Yeah, it was like an old, and a lot of the games they had were very much like the big blockbuster selling games, but not games that would probably cause trouble. So, I don't know. We'll see. But I'm excited. I'm more excited. I'm less excited about the article and more excited that a playable story mode of the game is coming out. Because that's all I ever wanted. That's what I thought the game was going to be originally. It is not. It is not at all.
It was like a weird survival game, right? Did you have to like build up a base and things like that?
It straight up became the opening 20 minutes is like you're playing the coolest version of a BioShock game, and then immediately becomes a survival game where you're just trying to like collect items and build stuff and get out of town. And it
sounds disappointing.
It was ultra disappointing. I have no idea why it was like that. To me, it reminded me very much of the hype that was built up to what the hell is that game where you're out in space and it sucks?
No Man's Sky?
Yeah, No Man's Sky. You know, the sucky one. It was very mediocre like that. Like all the hype building up to it was awesome, and then it hit with mediocrity, and you're like,
although you know, that's they're coming out with all the stuff that they said, that they implied was going to be in the initial
multiplayer,
release.
Multiplayer, very much like We Happy Few.
Yeah, but I feel like it's a little, it's too little, too late. I feel like the damage has already been done.
We all know this is just a precursor to the battle royale mode that No Man's Sky is going to be coming out.
Oh, No Man's Sky battle royale.
Yep.
It's
happening. It's gonna. I heard that what was the name? It was called Next Car Game before it got. I think it's called Wrecked or something now. It's a basically Demolition Derby, and they have a battle royale mode now. But it's demo car. Like you're taking cars and running them into each other. That would be cool.
I will always maintain.
Wreckfest. Yeah, there it is.
Sea of Thieves, battle royale mode. Everyone starts on pirate ships, and there's an island in the middle, and 100 people have to you all get a little schooner, and it's just you on this ship, and you have to get as much treasure, and you can make alliances, you can do whatever you want, but you have to get as much treasure as possible, and the team with the most treasure at the end wins. But if you're a person, you kill your team, you get like bonuses because it's split between you. So there's 4 people on your ship, and you turn in treasures, like that kind of thing.
But there can only be one winner.
Yeah, because think about it. If you're on a boat, you know how in the game everyone goes and turns in chests, right? Because you can only hold one at a time. If you're on a boat with 4 people, you're now competing with the other 4 to turn in everything that you've collected, or you just kill the other 3 and turn in everything by yourself. I think it'd be great. That'd be a great version. I'd play that version of the game.
I would want to play that game than the actual Sea of Thieves, which was fun for about a week, and then you realize, there's just nothing to do.
I think a week is being pretty generous.
I mean, I enjoyed it just because I'm a sucker for like sailing and the ocean and stuff. But yeah, the game was very shallow, pun intended, of course.
Heyo.
All
right. Well, before we wrap stuff up and move on in this beautiful world of ours, let's talk about things that are coming out this week. Did anyone have a chance to see any games that are on its way? Is there anything worth talking about?
I found a Tale of Pirates: A Dummy Mutiny.
Well, that's tomorrow. Is there anything today coming out?
Not today, no.
No? Literally no? What about Fatagan, the Tales of Creeping Madness?
All I can think about is Vampyr. That's all I want to come out right now. Wait, what's the...
Fatagan, Tales of Creeping Madness is a choose-your-own-adventure style minigame with couch co-op and a hint of betrayal. Play as one of 4 cultists intent on releasing the Ancient One. I can get behind this.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wait, where's the list of stuff that's coming out right now?
Bathroom Chef looks promising.
Hold on, I'll send that to you right now, my dear friend.
Thank you.
Octo. I don't think Octo was in the group when you sent it.
Oh,
There we go. Okay, I
cool.
want to take
All right, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, this Fatagan Tales of Creeping Madness looks like it's kind of the Yogg, very similar to the Yogg, which is very similar to Monster Prom. So that's
Another
fun.
game. I was going to say another game that came out recently.
By the way, Octo.
yeah.
Can I tell everyone a spoiler?
Yeah.
We may or may not be in the process of working on a DLC.
Okay.
We may or may not have decided we want the narrator to be in the DLC. We may or
Okay.
may not have written down Octopimp next to it.
Yes,
so like,
yes.
All right.
just put it out there.
Wonderful.
Get ready. That could happen very,
I
very
can't
soon.
possibly imagine a role I would rather play. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, there was
Nice.
literally
Okay.
the conversation was like, Octopimp? Octopimp. So
Okay.
that's like, yeah,
Cool.
get ready for that.
Nice. By the way, Monster Prom, still having fun with it. I played with my friends the other day. Still enjoying that game.
I'm so blown away by its success. You know what I love? The fandom is nonsensical.
They
like,
love
it
it.
is huge. People are crazy.
Dude, I love seeing all the fan art. It's so cute.
I have a friend whom I know from my days in the Homestuck fandom, and she's an artist. And all of a sudden, on my dashboard, up popped a video of her Monster Prom OC having sexual congress with Damien, and I was like, "Oh, neat! There it is."
I have seen a lot of links to like some pretty great erotica. And I'm like, yeah, all right.
Would
yeah.
you guys be friends with me if I said I still haven't played it yet?
Yeah, because that means you can go out and buy it. We love you.
Yeah, you can get it right now.
Right now.
I can't request a key.
Nope, buy that shit.
Support your friends.
Yeah, buy that shit. That's $11.99. That's good. It is insane, the fandom and the amount of people that are like into it, and I'm ready. I'm so excited. I have a lot of ideas for future stuff. So,
is there a heavy metal chick monster?
A heavy metal chick monster?
Yeah.
I mean,
like a goth, like maybe even just a goth monster.
I mean, there are three coven. There's a coven of witches.
Oh yes.
There's a coven of witches.
I like the witches a lot.
Yeah. There's a ton of stuff. Y'all don't even know. First off, I'm saving this link to Fatagan because that looks really good. So I love those types of games. I think those are so good. But yeah, I'm very, very excited that people are. Yeah, there is the Fire Lady, but she's a playable character.
Yeah, this looks. Yeah, this is very Yogg like.
Yeah, it reminds me. It's clearly not like Monster Prom, and that Monster Prom, the point is like you're dating, but this seems very much like the Yogg because it's story driven.
Yeah, you're going towards something.
Yeah, and I like. And for those who never played the Yogg, the point of the Yogg, much like this one is your cultist trying to release Cthulhu or whatever. The Yogg was you have so many days until a monster comes and destroys your town. And you have to like protect your people.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I like that stuff. That'll probably end up being a Fan Friday if I'm.
Oh,
if I'm
what's
not...
the? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. Yeah.
I was looking at. Who mentioned bathroom chef? Wait a minute.
That was
Dodger.
What is this?
It looks amazing.
Is that today? Is that a today game?
Yes,
it
today.
Sure is. Bathroom chef.
Where the hell is that?
It's at the top, May 22nd.
Oh my God.
The first screen is
what
just
is
horrifying.
This game? No,
just
Dodger,
go.
Can I read the?
No,
just go through. Just
no. Just
go.
What is the matter with you?
Just
Can I read the description?
Just go through the thumbnails. It's a tail.
Burrito burst. I've been there, buddy.
Yep.
The inner peace one just frightens me.
You know what this is, by the way? This is literally the poop game from South Park. Like every time you sit on a toilet in the South Park game, this is it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, great, cool. Glad you're here, Dodger.
I'm doing what I can for the team.
How can you forget Trivia Vault fashion trivia, Jesse?
I already have forgotten it.
Okay, hold on. You need to look up at CCCP calls.
I see that. I see it. It looks like Russian honey
anime.
pop.
Yeah, it's Soviet anime girls.
But
classic
the video only has one anime girl, and she is not getting any closer to being naked in this video.
No,
she's not even moving. It's just
In fact, every screenshot is just of the. Can I just? I'm not Russian. I don't claim to be Russian. I don't claim to have lived in Soviet Russia. But I'm very curious if this is what the people of the Soviet Republic would consider representative of their people. Each bubble is either a helmet, an AK-47, a sexy lady with a gun, a cross symbol, a various tower of a church, and what appears to be some sort of anti-air weapon.
Yep, artillery. It looks like.
Yeah, it looks like an artillery something. Also, can we just talk about how this comes in the cute anime girls bundle? And one of the anime girls games is called Weed.
Nice.
Oh wow.
There's one called LSD.
LSD, yeah. Which is exact. These are all match 3 games.
Yep. Someone played Honey Pop and was like, "Yeah, we could do that."
I know. Well, since TB isn't here today, it's unfortunate we can't talk about 40K stuff. But it looks like Space Hulk Enhanced Edition comes out today.
Yeah, I'm not sure what his vibe on that one is. I can't remember if he liked it or not. Because I know the last time we talked about one, he was like, "That's garbage poop."
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds about right. Space Hulk, when it originally came out, was not great. It had like a bunch of like frame rate issues. It was like poorly optimized. It was super not good. But it looks like Enhanced Edition fixes all the problems, which is nice. Yeah, game is good now.
Oh, that's a good tagline for it. Game is good now.
Game is good now.
Yep.
Performance is fixed. That's always nice. But it looks like if you own the original, you just get the Enhanced Edition for free.
Great.
Cool.
Yep. I gotta look at this game to see what it is. Safe House. It looks kind of interesting if you're into the top secret build, upgrade, and run a spy HQ out of a safe house. Looks kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But also it very much looks like Fallout Shelter, whatever that game was. So who knows?
Just looking at some of the games on this list is just
I don't know who chose this. Whose color is this? Is this who chose Baby Car Driver?
That's what I'm looking at right now, and I'm
Wait a second.
Who picked this? Who picked this game?
I'm just looking at that.
Baby Car Driver is a game that is terrible looking.
Is it out today?
It's out.
Oh
today.
yeah, 4 user reviews.
Baby Car Driver.
Yep.
Hold on.
I am not okay with this.
It's
Baby Car Driver.
Again, I don't know how these things get to Steam.
Sure. Well, that's a thing that happened. Let's move on to tomorrow.
Yeah, what's out tomorrow?
Tomorrow we have Arlo the Rabbit. What the hell is this?
Look at this.
Oh my god, it does look like an old school Game Boy game. They are advertising it correctly.
Yeah.
Arlo the Rabbit.
Arlo's first adventure in an old school platformer fashion. Complete with amazing chiptune tracks.
This is definitely the sort of a game that starts off feeling like it's about a cute rabbit and then winds up being about Satan, right? Like, definitely.
Yeah.
If we're lucky, that's what this game. If we're lucky, it'll be about Satan. Yeah. Also, A Tale of Pirates, A Dummy Mutiny. What is this game?
Yeah. So thinking about Sea of Thieves, except you're fighting your own ship that is populated with target dummies.
Oh, it's VR.
VR.
Oh, okay. I was trying to figure out, like, what the hell is this game? You know what? I could not do VR on the ocean. I can barely do on the ocean in real life. Hard pass.
Oh, yeah, where it would be like rocking back and forth. Oof.
Oh, I was more focused on the sharks that would eat me, but yeah, sure.
Oh, that too.
Sure. Yeah. Hold on. Yesterday. All right, never mind. This game looks terrible. I don't know what this means, but the Captain Forever trilogy, I just had to see what it was. It's not forever, and it's not worth the trilogy. The 24th, a lot of games come out that you guys are interested in. First off, we have Bloodstained Curse of the Moon.
Oh my god, is that out on the 24th?
PS4, 3DS, and Switch. Yeah, looks like.
Oh, this is the prequel, the 8-bit prequel.
Okay.
That's done. That's made like the old Castlevania games. Yeah.
Looks cool. It looks really cool.
Yeah.
Some of these boss fights are awesome looking. Yeah, this looks like a fun game. This looks like a Gerard game. If Gerard had to play a game, this is what he would play.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm so excited for like the full Bloodstained to come out. Oh hell yeah.
Epiphany is a logic puzzle game with the goals to find.
Yeah,
hidden
it's a
patterns.
logic game. It looks very simple and fun.
You should play this with your baby, and then your baby will be smart.
I should. Oh my gosh, I'll play Beethoven.
Yeah, just don't play Baby Car Driver.
No,
or whatever that was.
just blast anime openings.
Okay, great, got it.
Yeah, you're like way ahead of you.
I'm already on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
The other one that I grabbed for this day is the Office Quest.
Yes, I'm looking at this. It's
goofballs.
It looks really silly.
I like the art style.
Yeah.
Me too.
I don't know what the game type is though. What is the actual game?
It looks like a side scroller of some
Maybe
kind.
a point and click question mark? I don't know. I have
I'm gonna
no
watch
clue what this is.
There's
the trailer
puzzles.
here.
There's lots of puzzles, it looks like.
But it looks very silly and funny, and I like how this one guy's pig costume, his head's in the stomach. That's great. Okay. And then moving on to the 25th, was there anything of value on the 25th? I mean, I can think of one thing.
Yeah.
Detroit Becoming Human comes out the 25th.
Does that come out?
Yes. Yo, I played the demo. I love that shit. I can't wait. It is exactly what I want.
That's David Cage, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what
I cannot tell you how much I'm looking forward to this game because it's David Cage. David Cage games. Let me tell you about David Cage games.
Yeah, tell me about David Cage games.
David Cage. First game, Omicron the Nomad Soul. You play as yourself playing another person against David Bowie. Not just a character that looks like David Bowie, actual David Bowie.
This game is Omicron the Nomad Soul. I am David Cage. Oh,
and then
you must fight David Bowie.
Fahrenheit was the next game in which you are a cop and criminal. You're two cops, and you're the cops searching for the criminal that you play as.
Fahrenheit, it is a game that is about duality. The duality of men.
And then demons show up. Then, oh my God. Then you have the phenomenon that was Heavy Rain, which
Heavy Rain
is just... It's the only one that doesn't have demons in it, but I feel like there's a secret demon subplot that we weren't thinking about. Then comes Beyond Two Souls, a game where you play as a ghost and Ellen Page in an incredible tale of a young woman finding herself and then defeating demons.
He has two games in here that were just demos, it looks like. Oh, never mind. Wait, no, I'm crazy.
And then this new game, Detroit, which I'm convinced, even though it's about artificial intelligence, this game is going to end with demons. I'm convinced of it. I've never been more excited to play a game where demons showed up. It's going to be great.
Detroit Becoming Demon. That is my new game.
It's going to happen
now on PlayStation 4.
It's going to be the best damn game ever. Yeah, so I'm excited about that.
Personal computer.
Just for the record, does anyone remember when David Cage went up on stage at a Sony press conference and was like, "This is what I'm working on"? It was literally just a head. It was a rendered head, and it just moved, and then he walked off the stage, and I was like, "This man is a god." They invited him to show that. That was it.
Observe this pre-rendered head.
This is a head
on stage for you.
Look at my penis. And he like walked away.
Wow.
I've heard from people that everyone who's worked with him is like, he's the biggest ass who ever lived, which makes me like him even more because he's a terrible person. So he's a terrible person who makes weird games, and he's like got this like douchey French accent thing going. I love this guy. I love him. He's my golden god.
Wow.
I love him.
Dodger, what have you highlighted on the 26th?
Huh? Oh, Gansel and Gretel.
No, the day after.
Tie puzzle.
That's
what is Gansel and Gretel?
Okay,
what is that? You highlighted that.
I need you guys to look at this because I need you to look at the faces.
What in the holy
Gansel and Gretel? Wait,
look at the faces on these thumbnails.
What the
Wait,
fuck?
what?
Right? Like what?
What?
Wait, what?
And look at the old women. It's only a single woman, but it's old women.
All right.
Oh, Godfather.
Everyone needs to go look up Gonsel and Gretel. And the very last screenshot.
Oh, God, that's the father.
Nightmare fuel is that? What is this?
So I want to point out that the description for this game sounds like it came out of a textbook. Not yet known exposition of a well-known story about siblings and their adventure.
Like, I think this is a fever dream game, right? Like, this is the sort of game where you're like, I don't know where I am.
What is this?
Earlier tomorrow morning, we will take the 2 children out into the thickest part of the woods.
I can't. This last screenshot. How do you spell it? Gansel and Hretel.
Oh my God. Wait. Gensel and Gretel are children of a poor woodcutter. When a great famine settles over the land, the woodcutter's wife decides to take the children into the woods and leave them there to fend for themselves so that she and her husband do not starve to death because the children eat too much. The woodcutter opposes the plan, but finally and reluctantly submits to his wife's scheme. They are unaware that in the children's bedroom, Gensel and Gretel have overheard them. After the parents have gone to bed, Gensel sneaks out of the house and gathers as many white pebbles as he can.
So far, this is just the story of Hansel and
Right,
Gretel.
the original
He turns to his room, reassuring Gretel that God will not forsake them.
It's as if written by Edmund Macmillan.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's the
It's
thing.
Isaac. It's just Isaac.
Here's the real feature of this game.
Okay.
Features. Linear and rather short storyline. Nice background music and sounds. Steam achievements.
Nice.
Yeah,
Dude,
all right.
Octo, forget Vampyr, man. You got your game of the year
fuck
right
this.
here.
Hang on, can I refund Vampyr?
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you all for looking at Gonsel and Gretel with me.
Thank you, Dodger. Thank you,
Terrifying.
You're
I'm
welcome.
not- you
And now,
literally
if we want to
ruined
move to May
gaming for me.
26th, hentai puzzle.
Yeah, now here's Hentai Puzzle.
Dodger.
Hold on. What? Oh, never mind. I was almost mad because I didn't think it had actually any hentai in it. Because I was like, what are these weird squares? You have to make the squares into the hentai. That's a lot of work.
It's a puzzle.
That's a lot of work.
And don't
See a butt.
for it.
That's a
Hence
lot
the
of work
name.
to see a butt. I'm not invested that much in
Oh,
seeing
maybe
anime
Sakura
butts.
Sadist is more your speed.
I'm sorry, go on. Where is that?
There's a new Sakura game called Sakura Sadist, and I can only imagine.
They release Sakura games all the time.
You know, the Senran Kagura game. That's what I want.
That's what I need.
Yep.
It's true. Those games put the effort in.
Yeah,
They put the effort in being dirty.
they really do.
All right. Well, I guess that's it for us. Thank you all for watching, and we hope that next week TB will be in charge again so that I will not have to do this.
You did great, Jesse. You did great.
Thanks, pal. Thank you
I'm
so
sorry
much.
my power went out. I'm sorry.
Well, now people will just get to see your name over Octopimp and wonder what the hell's going on.
Yeah, there you go.
Be like, Whomst?
Yeah.
All the
Whomst
all
is
the
this?
blockbusters.
Yeah. But that's it for us. So before we go, why don't you tell everyone what's going on with you and the internet this week? Dodger, what's happening, kiddo?
We don't really have a schedule yet because there's a newborn in our lives, but I've been streaming when I can, just little streams, and you can find me at Dex Bonus on pretty much everything. So come hang out.
Yo, Octo, what's happening with you?
Hey, I stream just about every day now. 6 days a week. I'm usually active playing something. If it's not Digimon, it's something else. However, this weekend, if you are in the Atlanta area, I will be a guest at MomoCon. So come say hello. I'm on a couple panels. I will be entering the Guilty Gear tournament. And I think we're doing like Celebrity Jackbox. So like a bunch of the guests are doing Jackbox games on stage, which should be fun. So
MomoCon's great. It's a great convention.
I've never been to Atlanta, so I'm excited.
Oh my god. Get ready for it to be gross hot.
Okay.
It's gonna be like sweaty gross hot, but
Okay.
within walking distance is some of the best barbecue you'll ever have.
Oh, worth it.
Of that convention. So like,
I love
go
my
nuts.
queue.
It's very, very good.
All
All right, Sinvicta, what's going on with you, my dude?
Hey, I am still doing season 4 Darkest Dungeon. You can find it over my YouTube channel at
Season
youtube.com/Octopimp.
4.
You
I
can
love
see down
you.
there.
I love you.
Hey, I'm still playing. That's why I was cringing every time I hear occultists, because occultists suck. Also, playing the Binding of Isaac, Eden Streak past 100 now, and we've got Here's the Storm content coming back with the Nexomania stuff coming out soon.
That's because you want the
And,
Spanish voiceover.
Yeah, El Guapo. That means handsome in Spanish.
Ooh.
But yeah, you can find all that over
Sí.
at at Sinvicta316 on YouTube. And also I stream pretty much every day now as well. Twitch.tv/Sinvicta. We've been playing Dungeon Hunter Champions and lots of Moonlighter and Dead Cells, actually. Dead Cells is really good. So come on by. Our band also has a brand new song coming out very soon as well. Check that out over at sinvicta.bandcamp.com.
Nice.
Thanks, Jesse.
Hella nice. So, yeah, for me, on the channel, we're finishing up God of War. I think the last episode is either today or tomorrow. And then we have got... I'm finally sitting down to play Yesterday Origins. I'm really excited because if you remember how jank the first game was, I'm hoping for weirdness. And then Friday, we're diving head first into Detroit, and I can't wait. So I'm back. I'll try to play the Council on stream to get caught up to Dodgers. So definitely talk. And
enjoy my game. Sacre bleu.
Sacre bleu. I don't think David Cage says that because he's like, it's too gauche for me.
Too gauche for me.
Yeah. That's it though. That's it for us. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.
See ya.
Bye, friends.